That's awesome. So, you started this thing. Now, I know you probably didn't think about franchise tax and insurance
Oh, I know.
and employee taxes and
I know. It's like you're not just paying
workers'
them
comp.
$18 an hour. You're actually paying them like $24
and
an hour.
workers' comp. And
I know.
I mean, so did you take all that in consideration?
Nope, did not.
Did you? When did you learn that? How long before you
within the
finally
first
figured it out?
month. First month. And I was like, oh my, I did not take all of this into account. But, like I said, we had such a strong start and we just did well that like that wasn't even the issue. It was a matter of like, let me just make sure I'm paying everything, like everything is being taken care of. I was more worried about that.
So, I said that in one of my podcasts. I'm like, people, if they want to get into business, I mean, don't learn, a lot of people ask me and I'm like, don't learn from me. Learn from what I did not do. It's just like, I think people should take like a little class, some kind of financial, what do I need when I'm in business? What am I responsible for?
And they do offer those, I believe, through the University of Houston and Small Business Department. Yeah. But even then, I would say find somebody that's in the same industry that you're planning on going into. And I'm sure like when people come and ask me all the time, I have no problem outlining all of my costs for them.
Right.
I don't have a problem sharing that. I just would rather you go in informed than uninformed, right? When I was doing commercial real estate, I remember, there was a guy that was like, I want to open up a hot dog shop. And everybody wants their hot dog shop in like the Galleria. And I'm like, well, how many hot dogs are you going to have to sell in the Galleria area to break even, And he had this estimate, but I'm like, can we add all of this in? Now how many hot dogs? What are you going to do? Sell them for $20 each? So I think that it's just a matter of being realistic and also having the resources. And that's the thing with Houston. We have such amazing people. There's always someone you can talk to or ask for help.
So you said you were doing commercial real estate.
Yeah.
You skipped that part for me.
Yeah, I got my real estate license. I did commercial brokerage, tenant rep. I still hang my license, and I still, I still negotiate my own leases and everything. Okay.
Yeah. So you went to school to become a pharmacist eventually.
Kind of, yeah.
You went to holistic. You had a holistic wellness program.
Yeah.
You're a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
You're a chef or a baker.
Right.
A commercial real estate. Is there anything else we're missing?
I'm hoping a couple more businesses that I can release or launch with you in a year or so.
All right, so tell me something. What is your what is something like some goals that you're trying to work towards? I mean, what is you must have some. I mean, you look like somebody who wants to do all that stuff. So give us some of the goals that in next 5 years, let's say. Or something you aspire to be.
Okay, well, I'll start on a personal level because oftentimes, we get so caught up in our business stuff. So obviously I need to balance my family life and personal life a little bit. So I'm working on that aspect of my life.
Okay.
And then the other component would be, we are a franchise officially for our business. And so we have over, 150, 180 applications that have come in. So I need to hunker down and start going through them. As well, I want to grow. I just want to grow Macaron. In the meantime, I have 2 other businesses that I'm working on. And so I'm hoping that we'll have the launch in the next year or by the end of 2020.
If I don't want to ask you what's your business, but what kind of field are they in, if you don't mind me asking?
One is service and the other one is also semi-food related.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So you want to franchise your business, Macaron Baptiste. Mm-hmm. What areas are you thinking about franchising?
I think for now we want to be outside of Houston. So we would want to go, I want to start in Texas. I want to do like Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, and then kind of move states. We have a lot of applications throughout the states as well as internationally actually. So we are potentially looking at even maybe setting up a commissary in the Middle East.
So why you don't want to give anyone licensing in Houston?
I think that we've kind of saturated the market.
But if someone who lives in Cyprus, where do they go buy it?
That's true. And people do say that to me. I also would just have to find the perfect partner. That's the other thing. It's going to be my first franchise. I'm going to be super picky about who I go into business with. Yeah. And so at this point, from the applications that we've seen, we haven't come across someone.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering if someone lives in Cyprus, they're not going to River Oaks.
Right.
And going to Galleria is a mission.
Oh,
and going
totally
inside the Galleria
is even worse.
Is worse, right?
Yeah.
So, and then definitely not going to Woodlands because that's about a 45, 50-minute drive.
Yeah, it is tough. And I know those clients and they always are like, when are you going to open near us? And, the idea is if we find the right partner, the right location, I'm open to it. But ideally, if you were going to ask me, I'd like to venture outside of the city.
Honestly, if I was like thinking, I'm just saying Cyprus, but Sugarland, Sugarland, Katy, Cyprus.
There's still opportunity for growth, yes. Yeah. I think a part of me just wants to...
So one thing, okay, and I had talked to, I've talked to several people, and even like on podcasting, and I come across people. Why wouldn't you open it? Or do you just not want to open it? You rather franchise it?
You want my really honest answer, I'm assuming?
I want an honest answer.
I am
putting you on the
exhausted from managing staff.
Okay.
My kitchen staff is not difficult to manage. They're amazing. They've been with me for years. And even some of my retail is great. But like you can imagine the Galleria, the turnover that goes through. The thing with these locations is that they don't make the macarons on site, right? Everything is made at the commissary. So you don't really need a whole lot of people in the shops. All they need to do is put macarons in a box and give amazing customer service. And yet somehow that ends up being sometimes difficult.
Exactly.
And so let's just say I go ahead and open one in Cypress or Katy and they don't show up. Who's running there?
Right.
Me, right? And I already have the Woodlands, I have River Oaks, and I have Galleria. And I think I'm at that point where I just don't want to deal with that.
Gotcha.
So if somebody else, if there's a franchisee, they're vested, they're going to deal with their staff. They're going to deal with their location.
They're going to have ownership in that business.
Exactly. So then I don't have to worry about it.
So if someone wants to, someone who's listening, they're like, oh, you know what, I'm interested. I might want to open up in Cypress. I want to open up in San Antonio. How do they contact you?
So there is a franchise form on our website. Fill it out. And I will get back to you.
So where do they? It's like a franchisee investor relations.
It'll say at Macaron by PTs, it just says franchise.
Oh, it's franchise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just click on it. It'll give you a submission form. You fill it out. I'll get back to you. It generally has a questionnaire right attached to it. Like what areas are you interested in? Do you want inline or kiosk? And then I'll send you the FDD.
Okay, got you. What is the FDD?
Your franchise disclosure documents.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what tells you, how much we've made and all that fun stuff.
And what made you want to franchise it?
Exactly that. I knew
you
that
want to
there
grow
was,
the brand.
I know that the brand needs to grow and it's doing great. We ship nationwide at this point. So that means our macarons have made their way kind of all over the country. So I know that there's a need and desire and demand for it. I just don't want to be, I still want to live my life.
I got you.
A little.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. And franchising is a good concept. Matter of fact, I remember now. Okay, so I was listening to this podcast on NPR the other day, and this lady had started, it was called Chicken Salad. That's what she was making. She was making chicken salad, and it's called Chicken Salad something. I can't, Chicken Salad restaurant or something like that.
Okay.
The name of her franchise, it's in, because in the South, in the South, when I say South of United States, people eat a lot of chicken salad.
Right.
And you know how like in the North, it's like clam chowder and stuff like that. In the South, it's chicken salad. So she started this chicken salad. She was making a lot of chicken salad, perfected the recipe, and was selling it out of her car. Ended up doing a bunch of, just got a lot of chicken salad. It's one of the fastest growing franchises in the country.
Look at her go. I love it.
Yeah, selling about, I think like 76 million or 176 million. Huge. I mean,
Amazing.
The success is huge.
I love that.
And it built it all on franchising. So, I mean, franchise definitely can grow.
Yeah, and I think it depends business to business. And in my situation, I think it could be a good opportunity.
Yeah. Growing a business is always a challenge. Tell me some of the challenges you face every day besides employees. I get that.
Besides employees, we are in a society that is constantly demanding innovation, right? So as great as I think my innovation is, do I think I could do better? Absolutely. Continually making sure that your clients are being serviced. You're still maintaining and fostering the relationships with your existing clients or vendors. I mean, all of that takes a lot of effort. It takes time. It takes attention. And it takes care, and I take pride in those relationships, but sometimes it can be exhausting. Like there's some days where I'm like, I really don't want to talk to anybody, and I'm a very social, extroverted person, but even now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I kind of need a day where I can sit on my laptop and just like shut the world off, you know? Or I want to be in the kitchen piping macarons, completely zoned out. It's one of my happy places, which I don't get to do as much anymore. But I would say that, it's maintaining and fostering all the expectations people have of you.
You're in a service-related business,
right?
And one pissed off customer can put a lot of social, get on social media, put some bad reviews. How do you, kind of maintain the reputation aspect of it?
My staff get very diligent training, so they know exactly how to work with clients. Remember, we're a luxury good, right? So the people that come into our shops demand a certain quality and amount of service, right? Like it's when you walk into Chanel. You're greeted a certain way. You're given a glass of champagne. Like there's an etiquette that goes with it. Right. So my staff are very well trained on that. And then the second part of it is that we've just maintained really high standards, and so we haven't really had to, knock on wood, experience much of that.
Okay.
If we ever do, I'm the first to be the one on that phone and be like, what can I do to make this better?
Gotcha.
What happened? Let me fix it, and it'll never happen again.
It'll never happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way to do it. Get in front of the problem.
Oh, I pride like our company on that. That's something that's important to me. It's the same way where I go to nice luxury places. If I don't have a good experience and they don't fix it for me, I'm a little hesitant to go back. If I have a great experience, I'm there every week, and so it's just that loyalty, the brand loyalty matters a lot to me.
Yeah. I mean, and brand loyalty is, you can only build it by getting in front of the problem and not hiding from them.
So, but that's your other thing, right? When I as the owner have become the face of the company, that also extends me a little bit, right? So not only me dealing with the business staff, but I've also become the face, which creates a whole new.
Trust me, I know all about that.
Yeah.
So one more thing I want to talk about, and I mean, let's get a little more personal level. So you say, places you go to. Tell me some of the places that you like to go to, like to eat.
Absolutely.
Like to, you did the spinning. You do the spinning.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. What is your favorite place to eat?
Oh, I have many favorite places to eat. So it's all about the genre of food. So right now I've been loving going to Eunice. I don't know if you've been yet.
No,
it's like kind of in line with Tony's right there on Richmond and Adlo area. The great seafood. I just like sitting at their bar. It's great.
Eunice is seafood.
Well, no, that's where I would go for seafood right now. I love sushi. Kata Rabata is one of my favorite places, or MF. I just like food. So I have a lot of favorite food places. As far as other things I do in my personal life, I still do yoga. I actually do train at the Post Oak Hotel. So I'm sure you know Cruz, of course. He trains with Dose. So do I. And so that's how I get a lot of my aggression out early morning.
Oh, good.
Is to go get my workout in. But other than that, I mean, I think Houston has some great places to go. I mean, B19 is right around the corner from me, so I'm a regular there.
Wow. Okay. Well, you have to have your picture hanging right there.
Oh no, I hope not. That would be horrible.
So you like, tell me why. What you said you work out, you get your aggression out. Tell me a little bit about that. Why do you find that important, or why do you find it necessary?
So
I like to talk about that all the time, because that way people can know why, and I think if you're in business, it's just so important to get some of it out.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's also why I do such intense activities, right? Whether it's like spin or like, doing high intensity interval training. Or even when I taught yoga, I did a flow, it was hot flow. I was sweating it all out. For me, obviously the physiological reasons are a big thing. I come from a health and wellness background. I get how important it is. Your endorphins are increased the moment you exercise, your cortisol levels go down. When you're a business owner, all of that is out of whack. Your hormones, your cortisol, your all of that. And so I think that if you can dedicate some time for yourself where you can check out, when you're slamming those dead balls, that's when you get all that aggression out. You do what you need to do.
Feel good about that, huh?
Yeah, and then you leave and the rest of your day can continue. Now, that's one thing I can't do. I can't work out in the evenings because my schedule is too unpredictable. So I'd like to, but then something can come up or I'll get delayed or whatever. So my thing is, which is why I wake up so early.
You know why I can't work out in the evening? I'm just beat.
You're tired.
I'm tired.
I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
How do you, like in the evening, if you don't want to work out, how do you kind of relax? What do you do? Are you like a TV watcher? Are you a book reader?
I'm a book reader.
You're a book reader.
I'm definitely not a TV watcher.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that I don't enjoy some great shows, but definitely much more a reader. And if I'm not, my way to unwind really is socializing. I'm one of those people that likes to sit and have a glass of wine with somebody, or
social butterfly.
Yeah, I mean, not large groups or whatever, but having like good conversation, or having some friends over, or girlfriend over. I mean, it's just always nice to do that.
It's always nice to do that. You said that you want to open up a couple of businesses and this and that. Is there something, you have a goal, like, you know what, I want to buy a plane one day.
I love that
I want to buy the chopper that Tillman had.
I love that you asked me that question, because I just recently finished a book, and one of the chapters on there that was dedicated was, what's your why? Like, what is it that every day when you wake up in the morning, what gets you up? Mm-hmm. What is it that you're working for? I love designer things and I love traveling. I think for me is just having financial independence. I watched both my parents work as I grew up. My mom worked shift work and worked in Vancouver while we lived in Edmonton commuted. My dad worked for the hospital. They had we didn't get to spend time with them together much because of their chaotic schedules. And, it's an immigrant family. They come here, they work 3 jobs each. And so it was always really important to me to be able to have time with my family while still not worrying. Like, I don't want to have to worry about how my bills are going to get paid. I'm also somebody that will learn to live within whatever means I have. So if I don't make that much, I won't. Like, I'm not one of those people that likes to put things on my credit card. I don't ever have a balance. But I work for financial independence.
So, you
Freedom.
said you don't like to put things on your credit card. And that's a very important message that I would like to talk a little bit about, especially people who are, because, in this world, we live in social media age, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, people like to portray that success. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to people and they have said, well, if I don't show this and if I don't buy this and if I don't do that, then people will not take me serious and they won't think I'm successful. What is your opinion about that?
I see why some people may say that. Uh-huh. In my circumstance, I'm a luxury good. Yes, I get invited to really nice parties and I still have to look a certain part. Does it matter whether I'm wearing my lubes or yes, like I have, nice pieces here and there, but I don't think that my value or worth is based on that. I would rather go to bed without any stress on my shoulders as to this debt that I have looming versus go to bed knowing everything is okay and paid for, Okay. So yes, I think this is something that my parents have instilled in me. Like, if you cannot afford it, you're not getting it. If I can pay it off that month, that's when I get it, and that doesn't mean I don't treat myself or do the finer things in life. I mean, I feel like I've earned it, but I'm still very cognizant of those purchases. And if I am going to spend my money, it'll be on an experience. I'd rather travel. But that's a personal thing for me. But I think people need to really bring it back to what is your value statement for yourself? What is it that and if you do portray all this wealth and success, is that really going to generate more wealth and success? Like, is that really a true statement? Mm-hmm. True. Or are people going to see value in your authenticity and see that you're really working hard and you're grinding it out and you care about them and you're putting them before you're even putting yourself?
Gotcha. Talk about humility. What is your idea of humility? I mean, and why is humility important? What do you think?
I think it's what you said earlier. We live in an era of social media. It's hard to really know who somebody really is, right? And I think the more and more we're getting into the world of social media, those walls are starting to come down. And I think people are appreciating the authenticity and people want to be able to relate to you. Mm-hmm. If you're up here and the majority of the people are down here, there's an unrelatability factor. So why not just be who you are? But I also think humility comes from, you have it today. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, so true.
You don't.
So true.
You could have it all and you could lose it all.
Lose it all.
And then what are you going to do?
So, that's one thing that I always say, one of my mantras. But there's people, and I was invited to this show with Ursh. He has this show called The Flex Coach. Real nice guy. Bright kid. Let me just put it that way. Because he's 22, 23.
Wow.
It's a kid for me. I'm 42. Yeah. So
kid for me too.
All right. So and that's the question he asked me. It's like, well, but there's some people who don't want to be humble because and I don't know why he said that, but he's like, well, people don't want to be humble because they don't want people to take advantage of you. That person don't want people to think that they are weak or they cannot stand up for themselves.
I don't think those two are related at all.
And that's one thing that I told him. So tell me, what do you think if I ask that question?
Yeah, I don't think that those two things are related at all. In fact, when I see somebody who's far more humble and carries themselves with grace and dignity, I probably respect them more. I look at them as somebody who's not sitting there dropping names or I know this person or I did this or, oftentimes when I get that, I'm like, okay, that's a lot of fluff. Like, who are you really? Right. And so, no, I don't think that has anything to do with being humble. And I think it is important. Like I said, life is unpredictable.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, we live in a society right now where even sending your kids to school, you're worried. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Or today. And so I just think that if we don't live with that modesty, with the humility, with an ability to be humble and a way to relate to the masses, then we're not really connecting on a deeper level.
So yeah, I'm glad you said that. Humility to me, to be humble is more important than anything, it's here one day and next day it's gone.
And it's hard. Ego gets in the way. I mean, ego's a strong thing.
I was at a gathering earlier. We went to go read books to these elementary school kids.
That's adorable.
And we were just right there and we were talking about it, and we were talking about why the coaches don't do that when the commentators are telling and the other people are telling them what to do. And I'm like, it's the ego, because I'm the coach of this team and I'm not going to listen to anybody. And I mean, same thing in business. People make some stupid decisions and they don't listen to anybody. It's all about the ego. I'm the business owner. It's my business. And when you start doing that and you get that ego and that pride right there, it's just the downfall. It can be the biggest demise. I mean,
your business will not be sustainable that way. I think that's something that I learned very quick. And I think that the certain personality of business owners that make them successful business owners is because they have that confidence, right? They have that leadership skill. Right. But I think as you get further into your business, you need to start listening. That's, I think, a very important skill to have, right? It's listening to your employees. It's listening to your clients. It's listening to colleagues. I mean, there's so many people out there that know things way better than we do.
Right. One of my famous quotes, one of the quotes that I always say, hopefully one day I'll get famous. None of us is smarter than all of us. I mean, that's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like this should be a famous quote. I think it should go on this wall.
One day.
I think it should go on this wall. Why not? Make it today. Make it today. Make shit happen.
You heard that, Angel?
Make shit happen.
Make shit happen.
Right in here.
I really appreciate you coming over here, Sukaina. Thank you for
so
sharing this with us.
Me.
Thanks for taking the time. I know the interview ran a little longer. We blabbed a little bit and everything. Before I let you go, I have to ask you one thing.
What?
If there was nothing else left and you want to leave something, a written message for your future generation or for the world, okay, 3 things you'll leave for them.
Gosh.
What will it be?
Ended on such a deep note.
You thought you were off the hook,
I know. I was like, man, that went well.
3 things.
3 things. First, I will say, this was a quote that I heard that I really like, and I have to remind myself to live by. It's wherever you are, be there. Okay, so I think we live in times when we're just not present. If we're sitting here, we're thinking about the next thing. Well, I was being present, but you're in a meeting and you're thinking about what the next thing you're going to do. Yes. You're, even when you're church, for example, or mosque or wherever you're going, you're in the middle of a prayer and you're thinking about what the next thing is to do, or you're sitting with your friends and you're thinking about, so I just feel like we've lost that element of being mindful and present. So wherever you are, be there.
Awesome. I love
life
it.
is too short.
I love it. So that's one.
That's one. Gosh, I should have thought about it. This is a homework you should have given me. Things that I want to leave people with.
If I would give you the homework,
this wouldn't be as fun. I know, authentic. You're right. I would have found something online. No, I'm kidding. I think the second thing will be your health and family are everything.
All right.
So, my background, but I think that, fostering those relationships with your loved ones and taking care of yourself, like there's nothing better that you could do for yourself. And then last thing will be resilience. Work on building personal resilience, both on an emotional level and professional level. And I think if you have resilience, you can pretty much get through anything.
You're going to have to explain that a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm not letting you off the hook
I know.
Yet.
I was like, it sounded really good. I know.
It sounds really good.
Well, because we all are going to face adversities in our life, right? We're all going to have struggles and we're all sitting here trying to take the next step or make the next move. And the only way we can overcome those is with resilience, right? And resilience is hard to build. That's usually when people give up. That's usually when people falter. That's usually when people make the wrong decisions. It's in how you deal with those moments and how resilient you are that you kind of overcome them. And, I like to say that, me going through my divorce culturally, that was a very hard thing. And if it wasn't for the support of the people that love me so much, that had, that were there for me and me building my own emotional resilience, I don't think I'd be here today. I don't think I'd be sitting across from you, And so that's something that I tell people all the time, and especially women. We are very emotionally resilient people. We just have to learn to bring it up.
I mean, you know, women are more stronger than men.
I agree. I didn't want to say that. I wasn't going to do that here.
But you know, I'm
can
gonna
I give you a
first
high
one.
five for that? Really, I love that you said that.
What? It's true.
I agree, but I don't want to ever say, because you know people are like, oh, you know, a female being the president of the United States, I mean, she'll be too emotional.
If a female cries, she cries in her bed or behind closed doors. If a man cries, everybody kind of see it. They already pissed off at the world.
Yeah.
In front of everybody, you know, just have a bad mood. I mean, you know, they're trying to mask that behind them.
No, we are, and we handle so much. I think as women, you know, especially as gender roles have been changing over the generations, you know, we're pulling a lot of things from here and there, and yeah. I mean, we're pretty strong.
I mean, 2020. You know, come on, let's
2020.
face it. I mean, you know, this is not like 1915 or 1920. It's 2020.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
I really do.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you.